What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Halloween edition of the CBR Show. That's right, episode 8. Today is Halloween 2022, and with me, as always, dressed as Jeffrey Dahmer, is Bill. Bill, welcome.
Do you like it? What's up, everybody? Happy Halloween. I hope you can be as funny as the person you're dressed as today.
Yes, this is my Theo Vaughn costume. So I can just talk about how butterscotch just hits different. You know, man? You feel me, bro?
If you're going to dress as Theo, you got to bring it.
I'm going to bring it today.
All right.
First thing we're going to talk about is, how was your week, Bill? How was it?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, people are going to get sick that aren't from Philly about me talking about how great it is right now. But guess what, people? It has never been that great to be here sports-wise. So allow me to be happy. Union now are going to the finals. Philly's in the World Series, if you didn't notice. Sixers have players. Flyers are playing pretty well. You know, Eagles undefeated, 7-0. What more can you ask for? And then tell us now. Let's go from highs to lows. How's Baltimore?
Well, still here. Ravens beat Tampa Bay on Thursday Night Football. There was there were touchdowns scored. I think Tampa Bay is in just like, they're just falling apart. They're like what Denver's doing, but they just still have enough talent to seem somewhat relevant. That team looks like it's falling apart, dude. They're arguing on the sidelines. Tom Brady's throwing temper tantrums, doesn't seem to be able to connect with his wide receivers. And Lamar, who can't seem to do anything but have a close game, was able to come out and just kind of dominate that second half. So things are good in Baltimore.
It could be too late for Tom.
Yeah, I think Tom needs to hang it up. It cost him his marriage, you know what I mean? 5
losses, man. That's a lot of losses already.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's like a whole 3 seasons for Tom.
Yeah. No, Tom, hang it up. You should have just kind of went out on top when you won the Super Bowl. But hey, I get it. You know, that's all you know. That's what you got to do, brother. You know what I'm saying?
You never know until you try.
Let's see what else. I ran a 25K on Saturday. Is the longest.
Which is telling people how many miles is that?
It was supposed to be 15.3. This one ended up being 16 point something. Final results aren't out, but I feel like I did pretty good. Way harder trail run, way harder than half marathon. I was totally surprised. It kicked the living crap out.
I believe it. Hills?
Lots of hills, and like the first like mile into the woods, you hit this steep ass hill, and people just started walking. There was a big crowd in front of me, like you got to be single file in line, and people just started walking up the hill, and I was like, sissies, and I blew past them, and then later I was greatly regretting not walking up that hill with everybody else.
Yeah, you were the guy that sprints out real quick, and then you walk by him later. He's like half dead. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. But it didn't really get long. There's a lot of long stories. We can get into it another day. I know we're pressed for time a little bit today, so let's make it jam-packed full of awesome little tidbits. And we can talk about the 25K another day. I just lived. That's all that matters. I didn't die in the woods.
We can do a little segue since you're talking about hills to running up that hill, the Taysom Hill update.
Oh, we'll go right into football first. Yes, running up the hill.
All right, so
Taysom
was out-hilled this week. First, we'll go into what Taysom did, and then we'll talk about how he was out-Taysomed. All right, Taysom had passing 1 pass for 2 yards. So a completion, you know, even when he throws 1 pass, he makes it count.
That's 100% completion rate.
10 carries for 61 yards. A lot of people would be happy to have that in this game, this day and age. And then 1 catch for 11 yards.
He was second only to Alvin Kamara, who had 62 yards. So he was leading the team in rushing almost the entire game until the very end.
Yeah, Kamara went off. A lot of touchdowns. But McCaffery says, wait a minute, Taysom. Did you know what McCaffery did in this game? He played for the first game for the Niners, I guess?
First like game where he actually got to practice, I would say.
Okay, yeah. He ran for a touchdown, passed for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown.
That's the trifecta. What do you call that? What is that called? The trifecta? The triple crown?
Yeah, they need to throw some hats on the field or something. Dead squids? I don't know.
Taysom Hill, McCaffery says, I see you, Taysom, and I raise you one.
He says, I'm a Christian Mountain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Saints dominated that game. I was really surprised. I thought the Raiders would kind of make it competitive. I thought it was going to be a shootout. However, it was not. It was all the Alvin Kamara show. Andy Dalton got some points in there, and Taysom Hill did his thing. You know who else I want to talk about? My boy Geno. We're almost getting to the point where I have to apologize and take.
He's not trending downward. He's trending upward.
No, they went against the Giants. The Giants have a good defense. Gave Lamar some trouble. Gave Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, some trouble. I thought for sure this was going to be the big game where Geno takes that step backwards. 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Seahawks, they won the game, and they're now 5-3. He threw this many interceptions, 0, goose egg, no INTs. Couldn't believe it.
He's just not going away, Murph. He's going to haunt you.
Well, maybe we'll just call him on the show for next week, and me and him can hash it out, and either maybe I can apologize. But I haven't forgot the 7 INT game, Geno. You're not off the hook yet, and the season's not over.
I asked Geno. He's like, I'm not talking to that a-hole. No way.
You asked him?
Maybe Theo Von he talked to.
Brother. Yeah, talk to my man Gio. All
we
right.
had this guy. We had this guy in my town. He's got the best stories.
Let's see. Seahawks are 5-3. One of the most important calls in that game was when Pete Carroll accidentally slapped the ref when he was cheering. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see it, but we'll put it up here. I did not see that.
We'll have to get a replay. I haven't edited it yet to put it up on video, but yeah, they broke out a big run. He went to celebrate, and when he did, the ref was right there, and he smacked him, and then the ref threw the flag, and Pete Carroll started laughing, and it kind of reset everything. But it was funny. It was funny. It's a good laugh.
That happens more than you would think. People slapping people when they're happy. I was playing basketball one time. Yes, I was on the basketball team, and the coach said, if you can make this foul shot, you guys don't have to run. It wasn't me shooting. And the kid made the foul shot, and the other guy turns the other way, and he goes, yes! And he just straight up punched somebody in the face as hard as he could by accident.
That's a good story. Apparently, he gets very excited.
Careful celebrating when you see somebody celebrating.
Did his mom show up and then saw somebody with like an ice pack on their face, and there she was like, oh, did somebody get Timmy excited again? He just starts punching people.
He's just knocking people out. You're lucky you didn't get knocked out like the last little girl.
Speaking of knockouts, we got to talk about Jake Paul. But before we get to Jake Paul, I think the world's most hated American, let's talk about a couple guys for fantasy and DraftKings. You and I head-to-head again. Another rough win.
It was closer this time.
What's that?
It was closer this time.
It was closer. I think it was only a couple points difference.
It was only like 7. It was like one choice. We had a lot of the similar choices, same choices.
Dude, I had some really good picks on the first half of the games, and then Higbee and Robinson from the Giants, they did absolutely nothing, and then that bumped me out of getting paid in a couple of those.
That happened to me last night. I won $10 total though, and I played 3. I won $10. But yeah, it's like, okay, I got these 2 guys in the late games, and they're just like, it's the second quarter, and they've got negative 3 points or something. Ugh.
Higbee made 1 catch in that Niners game, got hurt his neck or something, went out, then came back and was very limited use after that. I'm still in contention for a $25 win in one of my things. I just need Mixon to go off tonight, and it'll be payday for old.
That could happen.
It could. I'm sitting in a good spot. But if you're looking for fantasy guys to add this week, this is what I love to do. You got Tyler Algier, I think is how you say his name, Algier, the guy from Atlanta. I have him on my team. Been on my team most of the season.
How did he do this week?
He had a touchdown, about 60 yards. I want to say 40, 50, 60 yards. This is two games in a row. 2 games in a row that he scored a touchdown. So they're looking to get him the ball. One was a passing touchdown, which PPR leagues, that's huge. Everett, tight end from the Chargers. You've got a lot of guys with injury, wide receivers. He's going to be worth picking up because he was getting a lot of looks early in the season, and now they've got such a depleted wideout core. I would say go with Everett, tight end, if you got a flex player you need. Either that or Palmer if he's healthy to come back, because right now they don't have anybody. And then last, I have Romeo Doubs from Green Bay with Lazard and that shoulder injury. He had 60 yards and a touchdown against the Bills last night. and had Aaron Rodgers not thrown the ball or ran the ball had Aaron Jones run the ball so much, I would have won my fantasy matchup. I lost by 0.2 points, Bill. 0.2.
It's a killer. Who's this guy, P. Walker, quarterback, 317 yards and a TD? What's he? He's in the Falcons-Panthers game. I don't know who he plays for, but I wrote him down. I should have written which team he plays for, but
he was that was it XFL reboot? He was one of the quarterbacks from the XFL.
I wonder if he'll be starting.
Well, he's starting because Baker Mayfield is hurt, and the Panthers should have won that game. I was listening to it on the radio. Walker bombs one to DJ Moore, 62-yard touchdown to take the lead if they kick the field goal. But DJ Moore rips off his helmet celebrating, gets called for a personal foul, moves the ball back, kicker kicks it, he misses. We'll put that up as well. I was going to do a "You Need a Beer" for DJ Moore because he cost his team or DJ.
That's the worst. I've seen that before. You take your helmet off, not even near the play. Sometimes you take your helmet off and.
Yep. Always wear your sports gear, kids.
Always wear your hard hat to the construction site, you know? Mm-hmm. Moore, 6 receptions, 152 yards and a TD. How about Pollard? I saw Zeke was out, so I played Pollard. I mean, I don't know why the Cowboys don't just run with him. 131 yards, 3 TDs.
Yeah, I feel like Jerry Jones is controlling the Zeke Pollard situation because Pollard just looks like he's faster. He seems to stay healthy. Zeke just
it's that whole quickly.
Yeah.
You know, Jerry doesn't want to seem like he made a bad pick, maybe. You know, people will say, Jerry wanted Zeke.
It's
and then your boy, it's
hard to be a running back in the NFL for a long period of time. And Zeke had a couple good years, but, it's time to move on.
Yeah, Pollard. Go Pollard. And then in the Dolphins game, they beat Detroit, 1-6 Detroit. Tagovailoa, 382 yards, 3 TDs. It's nice to see him playing well. I thought he might be done for the year. And then Hill, 12 receptions, 188 yards.
Waddle had 2 touchdowns. It was Detroit made it interesting. They hung in there. But in the end, the Dolphins just have too much talent, and Detroit doesn't have a defense. I think they might call me this week to come and try out. So, gonna lace up, bro.
You might be able to help out.
Mm-hmm. True story.
Couldn't be worse.
Right. Jake Paul. The infamous Jake Paul.
You hate Jake Paul.
Dude, here's the thing. Jake Paul fought Anderson Silva. And now this was a big fight because, Dana White made comments about Jake Paul would never fight Anderson Silva or that would never be a match because Jake Paul wouldn't be able to hang. So he fights him and he wins. Now, I asked the question on Instagram and some of our social media outlets, and I got a unanimous response about Jake Paul. I said, is Jake Paul legit? He's won every fight he's been in, right?
Yeah.
He's fought MMA guys. Is he legit? And everyone says no. Absolutely not. Well,
there's no way to know yet, in my opinion, until he fights a real boxer. And like I said, his conundrum is, I believe I wrote on there, his problem is he can't just fight like this journeyman who's 12th in line for the title, which would probably be a good matchup, a good way to find out what he's made of. But, he's got to fight a name. So if you're going to fight a boxer, you got to fight like Canelo, I think. Would you tune in? Now, we haven't ordered a single one, but who's going to tune in to see Jake Paul fight some dude? It's got to be a name.
Jake Paul has tapped into what the WWE uses to get people to watch, and that is the villain role. He is the villain. We are only watching. People are only paying to watch Jake Paul lose. They're not paying to watch him win. I think very few people are.
Some are.
Really, I mean,
a lot of people probably. It's probably
you think about wrestling, right? How many people like the villain? There were always guys that did.
Yeah, the heel.
You watched the fight to watch the bad guy lose, the good guy win. That's what they're banking on, and it seems almost like this is scripted, right?
It's not working out for the other guy. Listen, that guy can punch. If he were to punch any boxer in the face, clean shot, I'm sure he could probably knock him out or down. But once you get against a boxer that can get out of the way.
I'm not taking anything away from his training because he clearly looks like he's working out. He's fighting he's using somewhat decent techniques, it looks like, in the ring. He doesn't look sloppy.
Strong.
But, is he really tough enough to take the shots? I mean, maybe. Or is all this like predetermined, right? Pre-scripted. Like there's a script. You're not allowed to hit Jake here. In the seventh inning, you do this, and none of it. There's nothing on the line if he loses. This is pure entertainment.
Yeah.
And if you think that this BS isn't scripted or that this isn't some sort of like predetermined thing, I think you're sadly mistaken. The only thing I
don't think it's scripted.
It absolutely has to be.
Well, if it was scripted, wouldn't you pick a better fighter than a 47-year-old man? If you could afford like a good person to go down?
You got to have somebody willing to go down. They have to be willing to take the fall.
That's the big problem in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's money. The money, they're probably offering them good money to take the dive or to go in there and fight, but not train and let Jake Paul come out with the win. And that's why we got this like mockery of boxing going on. And, they're just going to ride it until they think that people lose interest, and then that's when Jake Paul loses. Either that.
To be fair, boxing's been a mockery.
Go ahead. Sorry, I keep.
Sorry. To be fair, boxing has been a mockery ever since they had like too many titles. It's just who cares if you're the one? They ruined themselves. And you know what? Dana White loved boxing, I think, and he's me if I were to get my own UFC, my own mixed martial arts company. I would do all the things that boxing did wrong. I wouldn't do them. I wouldn't have too many, belts. They just boxing ate themselves, or whatever.
They did. And the overuse of the pay-per-view, like pay-per-view this, pay-per-view that. Like make it quarterly, make it like twice a year, the big bouts. You know what I mean? Don't do these. Yeah. So-and-so's fighting so-and-so, and then the undercards there's 50 of them, and then your fight doesn't come on until 1 a.m. It's
oh man. Yeah, UFC though, Dana White, I think he tries to put some good fights, like old boxing undercards, like a Mike Tyson boxing undercard, will be like a bunch of nobodies. And then Mike Tyson beats a guy in 90 seconds,
Yeah. I used to like when HBO would do the stories where they would follow Money Mayweather and then whoever he was fighting.
Embedded? I think it was Embedded.
I don't know what it was called, but it was kind of like when they do the ice hockey ones where they follow them. They have everybody's
Hard Knocks kind of
story. It's the story. You got to tell the story.
That helps.
Yeah. I don't know. Jake Paul, I think, is a scam. The only thing we can hope for is that he starts setting up fights with actual fighters, and that maybe this is the only thing I can hope for is this is segueing him into actually being a real fighter. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's just doing it to be the villain and get paid because money talks.
Well, I think he knows people won't watch if he's not. His next fight needs to be somebody that there's a chance he might lose to. And Silva maybe could have beat him 7 years ago when he was 40. Who knows? Or maybe he'll beat him tomorrow. He could beat him tomorrow if they fought again. I don't know.
49 or 50? I mean, and he's got a career of fighting behind him, and he's handicapped to just box. Like, I don't know. Keep trying, Jake Paul, and we'll keep saying how much we hate you and we want to see Shinigami fight you.
Yeah,
I got to find
that
reel of Shinigami, calling out Jake Paul. That would be a great fight.
Millions of buys. We're in the corner, rubbing his shoulders in between. You got him.
Yep. You got him.
Kick him in the head, remember? Oh, it's boxing shit.
All right. I think that sums up sports. We did World Series. We didn't really talk about the World Series. It's 1-1. Coming back to Philly tonight.
Yep. Big game tonight. Expected to be wild. Hopefully people in their costumes going crazy. I can't wait to watch.
The streets.
Speaking of Philly fans, another great segue. You're really good at this today. I wanted to talk a second about Philly fans. I have 2 clips here. We in Philly, we have a lot of phenomenons, but our fans acting all the time in wacky ways. And one of the ways I love is, this is something that I doubt happens anywhere else. So I'm about to play you a clip of a Good Samaritan that has just caught some people from a burning building, mostly babies, but also they say a full-size woman. Somebody was throwing these babies out and he's catching them, right? And so this is what he decides to do when he gets to talk to the news. Hope you can hear this.
And was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. But we was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
So that's a guy on the news trashing Nelson Aguilar for too many dropped passes. He has just caught babies, right? He has saved the lives of multiple people. He's a hero. And what does he choose to do with his platform?
He's keeping it real in the streets, brother.
Trashing Aguilar. I just love his face at the end. Hold on, we're going to watch it one more time.
And was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
No.
The face at the end. Unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. So, you might think this is an isolated.
He's not even with the Eagles anymore, is he?
Yeah. He had a good year. Well, he was with the Eagles then. So this is a more recent one. You might have actually seen this one and heard this guy. So do you remember the Gator guy that caught the alligator in the trash bin?
Yeah.
Let's see what he had to say on the news.
See this gator and you decide to go after it with your trash can. What on earth were you thinking here?
Let me be honest. I didn't think my father instincts kicked in because my daughter is a risk taker. She got a bike. We from Philadelphia, so we don't have alligators. So she tried to hit the tail with the bike, with the alligator and all that. So I just jumped into action and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be Ben Simmons. I'm going to go capture this basket.
Ruthless, dude.
Ruthless in Philadelphia, man.
Wow.
I hope if I ever make it pro that I don't get signed in Philadelphia. I'm too sensitive. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Two heroes that.
I'm gonna do that at work
man.
next time I do something. They interview me.
So that's what we're dealing with here in Philly. That's what you'll see tonight on your TV screens. A bunch of these maniacs who insult our athletes on the news, running wild.
Keep it real. It's just a blue collar city that wants its players to work as hard as they do.
We love our sports.
All right. What's the score of tonight's game, Bill? What do you think?
I think I hate to make predictions on my team, but I think Phillies win by 3. I don't know what the score is.
6-3 Phillies. You heard it.
6-3. Bet it. And I'd like to take the minute right here to just play a new game, if you're interested.
I am. Fire away.
This game is called Go Fund Yourself. It's our own little Shark Tank type show. I went on Kickstarter, and I found 4 different projects, and I sent you an email. And if you start looking at them, look at the second one, the Luminary Pendulum. That's going to be the first one because I forgot there's one at the top. Okay?
Luminary Pendulum. You want me to watch
Luminary Pendulum. I'm going to describe these to you, and we'll have video for it. So basically, the Luminary Pendulum is a device to help access your subconscious. Light up your inner spirit and shine a light into the shadows of your mind. And I know you've got a dark mind. I can tell just talking to you. This thing might really... You write down your choices people see in the video. It's a pendulum that you write down different choices and you kind of hold in your hand. And the little movements tells you what you should do with your life. The pendulum goes over to ask her out or have pizza, not pasta. And if you give $99, you can have 1 if you get in early, $179 for 2. So at any time you're going to fund one of these projects. You can tell me if you're confident that you don't want to fund this project. You know how to do that. The Luminary Pendulum.
Luminary Pendulum. The description is what?
It's a device to help access your subconscious, light up your inner spirit, and shine a light into the shadows of your mind. Basically like a Ouija board for nice thoughts.
Well, sounds like alcohol. If you do alcohol or drugs, that'll light you up and send you on an inward journey. So I think the Luminary Pendulum can go fund itself.
Oh, go fund yourself. This is the next one you're going to see, if you look at it, is Chemos, the thermos that boils water in 3 minutes. Or you ever feel like you're out there and you want some chicken soup and you're out in the world? Well, this, as long as you charge your thermos, you can have soup whenever you like. Coffee. Tea. So let me tell you before you choose, it's $89 if you want to get in. That's a 30% discount. If you buy now, $89, you get 30% discount.
If I buy now, how much are they trying to sell them for? Wow, they've raised
$89 for one, 30% discount.
How much are they for one?
$89
to boil water.
Anywhere. You can boil water anywhere. Don't act like it's not a huge thing.
Well, I actually have a GoFundMe that's very similar to this. It's some sticks and some matches, and you can use them anywhere when you're outside. And it gives you heat, Not only does it boil water, it gives you heat, provides light, wards off evil spirits. It's called a
USB?
campfire. It's called a campfire, and if you get in now for $99.99, boil water. This thing looks like a fleshlight. They can go fund themselves.
There we go.
Now,
all right, next we're going to dabble in film here.
I can't believe people waste their time creating these.
Yeah, there's a lot more. I just didn't have enough time as I would have liked. I would have grabbed more. But now we're going to go into the world of film. Maybe we can become film magnets. The Velocipaster was a movie about, let's talk about the Velocipaster 2, if you want to fund the Velocipaster 2. So think of a Velociraptor mixed with a pastor, I guess. We'll show the preview here. It's a follow-up to the hit film that people still can't believe is real. Doug and Carol travel to the port city of Milan, where they have to solve a series of murders committed by a mass slasher at an Italian fertility festival. And Soviet spies, Interpol's there too. They just wrote, and Soviet spies, Interpol's there too. So, hey, listen, if we donate $35, we should do it as soon as we can. We get a credit in the film, and we get behind-the-scenes access and a digital script. What do you think about the Velocipaster 2? People need to know what happened.
Well, I don't want to say no to all of them, so what's the last one? We'll come back to
that.
We
got one more. Okay, so that's still in play. This
all
one
right.
is, help me make a pizza cake. So this kid saw pizza cake, which is some sort of cake pizza hybrid. You'll see a picture on Rhett and Link's Good Mythical Morning. And he's asking for $20 to make a pizza cake for his family, or $40, he can make 2. And, if we fund him, he'll make 2 pizza cakes for his family and friends, and he'll send us some pictures and maybe even check in with us. What do you think? Have you seen the picture of the pizza cake?
I'm looking at this. I'm very intrigued by the pizza cake.
Yeah. It's affordable. We might be able to...
Said, I want to make a pizza cake because it is awesome, and I can share it with my friends. At $20, I'll have enough to make one.
Yes. He says one of it is, the cons is, it might not be good. It's my first time. I've never had a pizza cake before, so it might not be good. Never made a pizza cake before.
You know what? I appreciate this young man's honesty. I'm picturing that he's young, but he might be like 50 years old.
He cares about his family?
Well, yeah. He's making pizza. He's going to eat it. It's not going to go to waste. I don't think we don't get anything out of it, do we?
I feel like this is a chance, this one we can make a real difference,
I mean, a pizza cake, all right, you're having a bad day, someone brings you a cake, now you're having a slightly better day, right? Now, imagine that you're having a bad day, and someone brings you a pizza and a cake, and they're combined. I think your bad day just went to an awesome day. I want to fund the pizza cake.
And what do you think about then? What do you think about the other one? That Velociraptor can do what?
They can go fund themselves. Go fund yourselves, Velocipaster. We're making pizza cake here on the CBR Show.
I'm going to go ahead and say right now that you're going to regret not doing the Velocipaster when it comes out.
Dude, I know, but considering I never heard of Velocipaster 1, then
you don't need to see Velocipaster 1. Hey, I'll get in touch with our pizza cake guy, and I'll send him some money, and hopefully he'll make a pizza cake. Maybe we can get a picture of him and his family eating a pizza cake.
Oh, we can have it for the next show. I love it. That's a great idea.
Have them on the show, maybe.
Let them eat pizza cake.
And that's all I have, sir. Happy Halloween.
Oh, happy Halloween to you as well, Bill.
Do we end with an LA story? I have a list.
Oh, dude, I love your LA stories. Go ahead.
No pressure.
I got to pull up my camera because I love looking at your facial expressions when you tell these stories.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Hold on. Wait for it.
Gotta find a good one. I'm going to be using all the good ones.
There you are. All right, go ahead.
All right. So let's see here. This one is more of a story about the dark side of LA. All right. And it doesn't involve a celebrity or anything, but I think this one kind of speaks to why I didn't feel at home there and I came back. Could they have used that? Whatever that. The pendulum? They'd love the pendulum out there. You know something they said out there when stuff was going weird? Mercury's in retrograde. That's what they would say. All right, so we're at this party.
There's a Virgil Simpson song called Mercury's in Retrograde. We'll fade out to that. That's a good song.
There you go. Remind me that. I'll forget. So we're at this party in the Hollywood Hills, and we think it's kind of cool. There's like couches out in the yard and everything. And there's this guy with a baby, and he's talking to everybody. And this baby is straight up adorable. And it's like, look at the guy with the baby. He knows everybody. And we're just looking at other people and stuff. And then it's like later in the night, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, past the baby's bedtime. And all of a sudden, this baby, he sits it down right behind us on the couch. And we look, and I'm like, you have the cutest baby. And he's like, he sits real well. He's available for commercials, movies, anything you want, print. And I'm just like, you're pimping your baby at a...